You've probably heard it 100 times. Do your cardio fasted, it burns more fat. It sounds simple. Roll out of bed, don't eat breakfast, hit the treadmill or go for a run, and you'll torch fat faster. The idea has been floating around gyms for decades, and a lot of people swear by it. But here's the question, is it actually true? Or is it just another myth that refuses to die? Let's start with where this idea even came from. Back in the 1970s and 80s, bodybuilders preparing for competitions started experimenting with early morning cardio on an empty stomach. They believed that since you hadn't eaten all night, your body would tap directly into fat stores for energy. And in theory, it made sense. Lower insulin levels, no circulating carbs, and the body needing energy, that should mean fat burning, right? The problem is, what sounds good in theory doesn't always hold up in real life. When you exercise, your body doesn't just flip a switch and burn fat or carbs. It's always using a mix of both. At rest, you're mostly burning fat. When intensity goes up, carbs become the fuel of choice because they're quicker and easier to use. So in a fasted state, yes, you do burn a higher percentage of fat during the workout. But here's the catch, what matters is the total energy balance, not the fuel mix during one session. Imagine this. You do 45 minutes of fasted cardio in the morning and burn 400 calories, with maybe 60% of those calories coming from fat. Later in the day, you eat more carbs and burn fewer calories from fat overall. Someone else eats breakfast first, does the same workout, burns the same 400 calories, but maybe only 40% is fat during the workout. By the end of the day, the fat loss difference is basically non-existent. That's the key point, fat loss is about the full 24-hour picture, not just the hour you're on the treadmill. And that's exactly what studies have found. One of the most cited papers came out in 2014 from the Journal of the International Society of Sports Nutrition. Researchers split participants into two groups, one did cardio fasted, the other did it after eating. After several weeks, guess what happened? Both groups lost weight. Both groups lost fat. And the difference between them was practically zero. So if you're doing fasted cardio because you think it magically burns more fat, you've been misled. But don't click away yet, because here's where things get interesting. Just because fasted cardio doesn't guarantee more fat loss doesn't mean it's useless. There are still situations where it might make sense. For one, some people just feel better training on an empty stomach. Maybe eating before cardio makes you sluggish or nauseous. If fasted cardio helps you move more consistently, that's a win. Adherence always beats theory. Second, there's research suggesting fasted cardio might improve metabolic flexibility. That means your body becomes more efficient at switching between burning fat and carbs. Endurance athletes, for example, sometimes use it as a tool to improve performance. But again, this is more about performance adaptation than fat loss. Now, let's get real about the downsides, because nobody talks about those. When you train fasted, your performance usually drops. Studies show you can't go as hard or last as long without fuel in your system. That means you might burn fewer calories overall. If your goal is fat loss, that's a problem. There's also the muscle issue. In a fasted state, your body may break down more amino acids for energy. That's right, your hard-earned muscle can become fuel. Over time, this can make it harder to keep or build muscle, especially if you're in a calorie deficit. And let's be honest, what good is losing fat if you end up looking smaller and flatter instead of lean and defined? Another point people ignore is hunger. For some, fasted cardio ramps up cravings later in the day. You torch 400 calories in the morning but then overeat by 600 at lunch because your appetite is through the roof. At that point, the whole benefit is gone. So here's the truth boiled down. Fasted cardio isn't a magic fat-burning hack. It's just another option in your toolbox. If it fits your lifestyle, do it. If you hate it, skip it. What matters is the total calorie deficit you create and whether you can stick with the plan long term. But let me challenge you with this. What if you're using fasted cardio as a shortcut, hoping it will cover up bad nutrition? That's where most people go wrong. They think rolling out of bed and running empty is going to cancel out last night's pizza. It won't. Fat loss always comes back to diet first, training second, and cardio is just the icing on the cake. Here's an example. Say you're eating 3,000 calories a day and maintaining your weight. If you want to lose fat, you need to create a deficit, maybe 500 calories per day. You could do that by eating less, moving more, or a mix of both. Fasted cardio might help you burn some of those calories, but it's not changing the basic math. And the math is inescapable. That's why when you look at old school bodybuilders or modern fitness influencers who swear by fasted cardio, you have to remember something. They're also dialed in on their diet. That's what makes the difference, not just the timing of their cardio. Now let's flip the perspective for a second. Are there times when fasted cardio is a bad idea? Absolutely. If you're training hard, lifting heavy, or doing high-intensity intervals, going in fasted is usually a mistake. You'll gas out quickly and leave performance on the table. It's like trying to drive a sports car on an empty tank. You need fuel for power. If your goal is muscle growth, same thing. Fasted training puts more stress on muscle preservation. You're better off fueling up before you lift so you can push harder and stimulate growth. And if you're the type who feels dizzy, weak, or hangry without food, forcing yourself into fasted cardio is just making fitness harder than it needs to be. Remember, sustainability beats suffering. Here's the bottom line. Fasted cardio doesn't make you lose fat faster. Studies confirm it. Real-world results confirm it. What it can do is give you flexibility. It's one possible way to structure your day. If it helps you stay consistent, then it works for you. If it doesn't, you're not missing out on anything magical. So the next time someone tells you fasted cardio is the secret, you'll know the truth. There are no secrets, only strategies that fit your lifestyle. And here's a final thought. The real secret to fat loss isn't when you do cardio. It's not even how much cardio you do. It's whether you can control your nutrition and training consistently for months at a time. That's what leads to real transformation. So don't stress about whether you should do cardio before or after breakfast. Stress about whether you're hitting your calorie goals, training with intensity, sleeping enough, and repeating it every day. That's the stuff that matters. And if you want to play around with fasted cardio, go for it. Try it for a couple of weeks. See how your body responds. If you like it, keep it. If you don't, drop it. Fitness is about finding what works for you, not forcing yourself into someone else's dogma. Because at the end of the day, the truth is this: fasted cardio isn't the fat loss hack you've been sold. The real hack is consistency, patience, and discipline. Everything else is just noise. So, now you know.